And let's check in now with Storm Teammate Meteorologist Sara Flynn. Sara, thank you so much for stopping by. And you guys, of course, have been busy the past couple of days over at Storm Teammate following those very deadly storms on Friday. We quickly want to just jump back to Friday, though, and kind of go over what we did see that day before we kind of mention what's kind of come out from Friday and also what you guys are kind of tracking throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying that I've gotten a lot of emails and text messages and Facebook messages and whatnot from viewers. Very, very kind words. So I do appreciate all of that. Secondly, I want to say the leading question that I have is, how did this happen? It was only a level 1 risk. Right. And how did we get this insane supercell that wound up producing 4 tornadoes? And the short answer is we spent most of Friday being completely covered by fog and cloud cover across West Michigan until we weren't. And the second we saw signs of sunshine in far southern Michigan, I knew that was going to be the fuel for some storms. The cell actually originated in far northwest Indiana and then really moved into a favorable environment. We had prime weather in southwest Michigan to kind of contribute for, again, a singular supercell. It was literally like one cell that we were just staring at on radar. And this, of course, one of many videos we had sent in. That's crazy. Those are the types of tornadoes you see in Oklahoma, in Arkansas, in Tornado Alley.
And just knowing that they were they were still, a little ways away from us here in Grand Rapids, but just knowing that, you could take a drive there. We've all kind of driven through that area before, or 100%. At least nearby.
Yeah, just south of I-94. I think this video is interesting. There's been, I think, kind of a lot of misconceptions or perhaps some misinformation. I do want to highlight that the Union City EF3 tornado that's the earliest we've ever had an EF3 tornado in the state of Michigan in history. And a lot of people were like, how did this happen? And like, it's been cold. It's been cold, but it hasn't. It's been warm enough to, trigger severe weather. I think there's been a little bit of misconception too that our lakes were frozen. Most of them actually weren't completely frozen. Some of them have ice coverage, of course, but it's been warm enough. So a tornado moving over a completely covered frozen lake usually is enough to break it up, but you can actually see the tornado kind of lifting up the water and throwing things into the water. So that wasn't enough to stop it. Union Lake, at least. Man, some of this footage is just...
Right. I mean, even just seeing it again, it's been kind of something that's been circulating really throughout the week. And again, this all happened really Friday afternoon into the evening. And, just kind of re-seeing it all again and just knowing that, okay, we're still a couple days removed from those tornadoes. There's still a lot of cleanup that needs to be happening in a lot of these areas. Oh, yeah.
There is a ton of work that needs to be done. And I always say is horrific as these events are, I think sometimes you see the best in your community when disaster strikes. And that's, I think, what we've been able to see. So many people just offering to help, just, high schools open with supplies, people down there. We have Red Cross, so many organizations. So very hopeful that they can see some progress today.
Absolutely.
If you are kind of just joining in now, we actually have 4 tornadoes that were confirmed. So I know over the weekend we were seeing these trickle in. We're split between 2 weather service offices here in West Michigan, so the northern Indiana and Grand Rapids kind of had to work together. The first tornado we saw touchdown was in Edwardsburg. That was in EF1. We didn't have a whole lot of lead time on that. That was the initial warning that we saw, and pretty much touched down immediately. It was such a rapidly intensifying supercell. Had some lead time for Three Rivers, EF2. That is peak winds of 150. Luckily, no deaths coming from that tornado. Union City and EF3, we saw peak winds of 160. And to put that into perspective, I think there were parts of that almost looked EF4 from the damage. And then eventually moved into a less favorable environment towards Clarendon Township, and that's where it fell back to an EF0. So that was kind of the streak. I think this map shows it a little bit better. Almost a perfectly northeast trajectory, which again, supercells love. They have that hook and they rotate and they move northeast. It was moving at about 35 to 45 miles per hour for about an hour and a half. And that is all it took to create all of that destruction.
Yeah,
I believe that is, I don't want to missay it. I believe that's M60, maybe it's M66. Blake and I were just like, it is literally following this road down to a T. I'm going to look just to double check that I have the right road there. But you can see, again, perfect trajectory in that direction.
Well, and you mentioned that this was one of the
60 on
earliest EF3s that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was the earliest EF3 we've
Yeah.
ever seen in the state of Michigan. It's
Yeah.
also the first one we've seen since 2022, I believe. I think
Yeah.
the Gaylord one
Yeah.
was the last one we even
I
hit
think
that high.
some of these stats are just so jarring here. So yeah, Gaylord was a EF3. You remember that? I want to say that was May of 2022. Definitely 2022. I believe it's in May. It is the deadliest tornado that we've had since 1980, which is crazy to think about. Think about in 1980 how different technology was.
Right.
We had like no lead time. We were waiting for people to call in the tornado instead of looking at it on radar. And of course, the earliest EF3 tornado ever in Michigan, at least. I do want to highlight, it's not localized to us either. We've had tornado outbreak after tornado outbreak across this country for the last several days.
Right.
The atmosphere is just primed and energized. And unfortunately, Phil, I feel like I'm on such a somber note because we have to talk about tomorrow, which is crazy.
It's not even over yet.
It's not even
truly.
over. This is it for us. Tomorrow is it for us, is what I mean. This is the stretch. And we are getting clipped by a slight risk, which is a level 2, and just barely an enhanced risk, which is a level 3. I would fully expect that enhanced risk to slide more into West Michigan. We just got some new model data in. Our system, the graphics I'm going to show you is actually a little bit outdated, takes a minute to auto-populate. But the window that we're looking at severe weather, I would say, is between 10 o'clock and 1 in the morning, which is a terrible time frame. It's
Right.
dark. People are going to bed. So I'm giving you so much lead time by, can you stay up? Can you get that weather radio? Can you turn your phone on full blast if you are going to bed, just to make sure that you are getting those warnings? Can you sleep in the basement if there's a higher tornado threat, right? Like there's so many things you can do ahead of time to hopefully limit that. And that's what we're hoping to do. So I'll walk you through the future cast because that's what everyone cares about. First of all, I don't want to limit today. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's
right.
literally gorgeous.
I was going to say, kind of
know.
in between, sandwiched in between these two
know.
severe weather days, we are
Yeah.
having some pretty nice weather.
It's literally gorgeous. It's so warm. We'll be in the mid 60s this afternoon. So soak that in, take advantage. Tonight, maybe, or I'm sorry, not tonight. Tomorrow morning, maybe a few sprinkles. Tomorrow night, we'll start to see things go around 9:10. But again, we're expecting kind of the worst of it in West Michigan between about 10 and midnight. This is just a snapshot at midnight. It falls apart pretty quickly after. So I don't foresee a ton of issues as we move into later Wednesday morning. But the main threats that we're tracking are damaging wind and hail. Those are looking actually quite likely at this point. But there is a tornado threat, and it's directly south of I-94. We look for things called CAPE. We look for things called shear. We look at things called a supercell composite, all of these fun little tools, and all of them are lining up south of I-94. So I'm pretty confident that if we were to have a tornado, unfortunately, it would be the same exact counties that were watching it on Friday. But I'm hopeful that all of those don't materialize because we do know that time can change forecasts, and we still have about 36 hours to go here.
Yeah, and then it can change kind of rapidly, too. I mean, it wouldn't be a shock if maybe we didn't have any severe weather, or maybe
That
if
would be
things
great,
we kind of
right?
moved into a higher risk
That's
level.
what I keep saying. I
Yeah.
hope it's a bust.
Yes.
Genuinely. Like, I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that all of us are looking at each other at 10 o'clock tomorrow night and
Right.
there's nothing. Like, that's what I hope for, especially after what we had on Friday. But this is the information that we have now, and this is the forecast that we're going with. So, again, multiple ways to get warnings. Can you prepare? Can you call up, your family and friends south of I-94 and make sure that they have a way to get warnings if they're without power? All of those things we have time to do.
All right, so that's kicking off, as you mentioned, kind of tomorrow night-ish, but it kind of extends into Wednesday morning a little bit too, right?
Yeah, the 8-day forecast is the best way to show this
Right.
because it's such a mess.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Wednesday,
graphics on that page, yeah.
I know. Wednesday, we'll see about a high of 44.
Right.
Cold enough that we could actually see a few snowflakes mix in, but I do think it'll largely just be like cold rain for us. Thursday looks okay. Friday, likely a bit of a wintry mix. Saturday looks okay. Next week looks even colder. We'll probably see high temperatures fall back to those 30s, and that should be cold enough for some snow, perhaps some accumulating snow. Monday would be the next chance for that.
Wow.
So not expecting really any of it to stick again until maybe Monday, but again, we have time. Maybe that'll shift too.
Right, so we're saying, again, today is the one day, the really
Look at
last
it.
nice day for the next
Look how
couple
nice
of days.
she looks on that 8-day forecast. We love her.
The lone sun up there.
I know,
for sure.
the lone full sunshine day we have going.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I would kind of want to do shift back to Friday a little bit, Sarah, if you don't mind, just because, again, this is going to be a story that is going to be taking up a lot of our, time in their newscast because it is such a big story and there's so many different moving parts. Strictly speaking about the National Weather Service, they're kind of doing all the surveys to kind of determine, the strengths of a lot of these tornadoes. What are they kind of working on right now post all of that? I mean, is there what is kind of the next steps for not only the National Weather Service, but really for you guys over at Storm Team 8 now following all of this information being released?
Yeah, so they did tell us that they're done surveying. So they really, put in the time and effort over the weekend to get those surveys out. So 4 tornadoes is it.
Right.
Which again was a little bit easier for them because it came from the one cell. So they just kind of had to follow again M60 there and see the path of destruction. From here on out, the National Weather Service has greatly shifted to looking at tomorrow. And they're focused on if that is going to materialize, we have so much debris. What are we going to do if we have heavy rain? What are we going to do if we have high winds? There's more things to blow around now. So I think that's going to be the primary focus today. And then, as we go ahead looking forward, we kind of revert back to winter. So we should catch a little bit of a break in terms of severe weather. But this is the time, it's a frightening reminder, but this stuff happens in Michigan. We're not completely, it's not impossible to happen here just because we have a lake. We love to say the lake kills off our storms, and it does a lot, but it's not impossible for it to continue. So,
and it can be a lot more dangerous too if we're not maybe in that mindset that things like this can happen. I think, as terrible as it is to see a lot of these images, again, like you said, it can also provide a lot of clarity for some people that, maybe the next time there are warnings. I'm hearing Storm Team 8 tell me to maybe take cover, or that things are happening. I can kind of reflect on this and think, there is damaging potential in these storms. So again, I should be taking those extra precautions as well. And again, kind of the next opportunity to do that is Tuesday night, just trying to be as prepared as possible for anything like that. Again, if you can stay up, maybe if you don't have a super early day on Wednesday, maybe you can stay up and just be aware of everything going on. But again, if you are going to fall asleep, again, having those alarms on, getting ready, all your alerts ready to go, just to be as prepared as possible.
And Phil, I'm glad you brought that up because I think the other thing that I've heard across media platforms, across viewers, why wasn't there a tornado watch, right? Governor Gretchen Whitmer was highlighting that in her tour as well. She's like, why wasn't there a tornado watch? And kind of the short answer is it was one cell. We oftentimes get tornado watches when we're expecting an outbreak, several tornadoes. And that obviously wasn't expected. And unfortunately, that's not even really I know we had 4 tornadoes, but it was one cell. And so, each system looks very different. I would expect maybe some watches to come out tomorrow. And I think each event, what is most important is us as meteorologists in the National Weather Service, we learn and we grow and we see what can be done and how we can be better at messaging and warning and lead times. And so that's another thing that they do. They definitely take a look back at events and see what they can do better, as do we with our coverage as well. And so, we're kind of taking everything we gathered, and hopefully, if we do find ourselves in a severe weather situation tomorrow, we are ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know that you and the rest of Storm Team 8, again, are going to have us completely ready to go if anything does happen. And we so do appreciate all the work that you guys have been putting in. And again, we'll have you back on the show tomorrow to probably talk about anything that we might be, getting a little bit more clarity on the Tuesday night forecast as well. And we'll be bringing that to everybody on the show tomorrow. And we also do have crews continuing to work on the cleanup efforts going on right now. We've got tons of footage from those storms. We also have ways that you can help out those people that are being the most impacted right now. All of that information can be found right now over on our website, woodtv.com. Sarah, thank you so much for stopping by again. We so do appreciate it. And I do want to thank everybody else so much for tuning into this latest edition of the Daily 8. I'm Phil Pinarski, hoping that everybody has a great rest of their day. We'll see you again tomorrow.